Hello, this is Jeff from Studio 41 Gaming, and we are talking about some Pokemon. And I just want to start things off. Anybody who's been following the Heart Gold live stream series, yes, I am going to be still continuing the live stream series. I said at the start the timing might be a bit off on these, and I know I have not abandoned it. Don't worry. But we're talking about Pokemon. We're talking about how Pokemon is looking right now because we just got some big news a couple days ago with the announcement of the new expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield. The Galarian Tundra, something like that, something along those lines. I caught a couple pieces of it, so I know they're talking about a new expansion, and that's really what matters here. Is we're getting a new expansion, not a new Pokemon game this year for Pokemon, and that is definitely gets my gears a spinning as to what the next Pokemon game is going to look like, because this is the first time in a while that we're not getting a new yearly Pokemon game. And that could mean a couple of different things. I think the most likely next Pokemon game, I still think it's going to be either Sinnoh remakes that are going to take this kind of safe Sword and Shield route, or a Pokemon Let's Go Johto spinoff. I'm not positive on the Johto spinoff. I think if anything happens out of those two, it will probably be a Sinnoh remake, or it could be Pokemon Let's Go Sinnoh, and that would be very, very odd if they went that route. But I think that's a very it's likely enough and just out there enough that I could be convinced that that could be a thing, because that would be just that left field kind of idea Game Freak would have. But I think Pokemon Let's Go Johto will probably be the next Pokemon game, which will then push the next mainline Pokemon game into 2022. And that could be a risky move, simply because Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu were nice distractions, but I'll be perfectly honest, I haven't been motivated to go back to Let's Go Eevee ever since I played through it the first time. That is probably the easiest Pokemon game I have ever played. So I just haven't. It's a nice spin-off, but it's a bit of a distraction. It's not going to hold people for a super long time, and I think Game Freak runs the risk of pissing some people off if they don't put out another main series Pokemon game. So I think we will get a new main series Pokemon game next year. And yeah, Sword and Shield has been pretty safe, and it definitely warrants the criticism it gets. I think overall, my overall opinion of Sword and Shield, it's good, but it's obviously very safe. The wild area being the best part of the game, hands down for me. And that's like only a part of the game. That's like 20% of the game. The other 80% is pretty by the books Pokemon action. And I think the best part of Sword and Shield is the world of Galar, the Galarian region, Galar region. I don't know how to plural Galar, whatever, however you pronounce it. That's definitely the best part of the game, is the region itself. The actual gameplay is pretty safe, and it's definitely a region that I think could use it. I would like to see return in the future in some way, shape, or form. But even as safe as Sword and Shield are, I still think it's a step up from the 3DS games, and I know that will piss some people off, but I did not like any of the Pokemon entries on the 3DS. X and Y's easily the worst region, I think. All Sun and Moon's pretty down there too, but I'd like to give them a slight edge over X and Y. But those generations of Pokemon games flat out sucked, and I don't even want to talk about the Oris remakes. Don't even get me started. Hoenn region was my first region, and I think those were the biggest letdowns of video game history for my personal taste. Okay, the less we talk about Oris, the better. But I didn't like any of the Pokemon entries on the 3DS. Sword and Shield, I think it's not. I think I would put it a step or two below Sinnoh, Gen 4. Black and White's right around there too. But I like Sword and Shield. I think they're solid entries, if obviously they're safe. And I look hard enough at Sword and Shield, and I like. Part of me really wants to give Game Freak the benefit of the doubt on. They played it safe for the new their first main console release, you know, that kind of deal. It's like, yeah, maybe they didn't want to go all out for the first entry for some reason, and even though you look at that and it could be the reason why Sword and Shield are safe, but then you look at Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and how fantastic those games are. So it's hard to really take that approach, but it's one that I find myself more driven to take than the old Game Freak was lazy, all-out assault that Game Freak got for Sword and Shield. But Pokemon right now, it's at a crossroads. Sword and Shield has gotten plenty of flack, and I do believe that the flack it's gotten is warranted, reusing models, stuff like that. And Game Freak's next Pokemon game has got to be a game winner. If you do Let's Go Johto, I think you risk really pissing some people off. But at the same time, it shows, I think, that the main Pokemon team is probably going to work on something big. And if that's the approach they take, then sweet Mary Mother of God, they better deliver. But I think it's a bit of a holding pattern with the new Sword and Shield expansion. I think next year is going to be the big... at this point, even then, it needs to be a big delivery from Game Freak. It has to be a solid release. Pokemon has got to deliver, or they're going to piss off some hardcore fans. And trust me, Pokemon might just have the most hardcore fans in gaming. Thanks for watching.